Um,
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the newly revamped Backstop Banter with me, Anthony Conover. How are you doing, Michael?
I am doing well. I'm kind of wondering why our names are not showing at the bottom.
You want to know why? I can tell you why right now. You ready for this? I'm going to go down here to Backstop Banter. Right there. There
Oh,
we go. And then we
ta-da!
gotta have this here at the bottom as well.
There we go.
Oh wow. Okay, Michael. I see that you added something special for me.
Oh, did you? Did you?
I see that you've added something special for me. So you know what we're gonna do, and I don't even got to say it now. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pay the bills.
Ba-ba-da-da. You're
We
welcome,
are
by the way.
going. I know what a guy. What a guy.
I try.
We of course have to pay the bills, Michael. So if you are like me and you are into the betting world, make sure you head over to mybookie.ag. USN 100 doubles your first deposit. I know that I'm definitely looking at it right now because I got a little something over here on the Packers 49ers game. It's looking good though. I took the Packers with that spread. I didn't care what it was with all the injuries they got. Ooh.
Definitely.
I'm looking good right now, but if you are into the betting world, make sure you head over to my bookie. They're doing very, very good things for us with doubling your first deposit up to $1,000. So, like I said, if you are into betting, that's all you. And then, of course, when you're a little sore from a long day at work or, a long day at the gym, pumping iron, make sure you head over to rxhemp.com, use rxhemp-USN, and then you save 10% off your final order. So, we got two wonderful sponsors. They're doing wonderful, great things for us. So make sure you check those out. But now that the bills are paid, as I like to say, let's get right into it. And first off, we're going to start with, some of these topics we're going to glance by a little bit because, me and Michael are gonna give you a nice little surprise at the end with our all MLB teams. We might have some differing opinions. I don't know. We don't even know each other's lists. So this could get interesting.
I feel like it's a hat day today.
Oh, a hat day. Backwards hat. Colin Cowherd would not be happy with you.
Ooh. Me neither. I actually never wear them backwards.
The backwards hat kind of guy.
Never mind. Just sitting here. It's going to be a ADHD kind of day for me. I'm just going to be honest with you. Didn't sleep very good last night. Had to get up early for work, and my children were forever going to sleep. So we'll figure it out and we'll get through.
Listen, we're professionals. We'll get it done.
Professionals. We're the experts.
You know what? That's what I like to think. But we'll start off with Boston's manager. Now, this could be, a little bit of a weird topic because all the reports are saying that it's going to probably be Alex Cora. And obviously, Alex Cora is the manager who already managed the Red Sox, and he was out this past season because of the Astros cheating scandal. He obviously was was involved in that as well. And I've seen people around baseball, a little upset that he's going to get his extra chance. But as much as I dislike the Red Sox being a Yankee fan, even I can't find anything too wrong with it personally. Because listen, you serve your time, you did the punishment, and now what are they going to do? They're not going to end up punishing him forever. So listen, if the MLB is going to let him back in, it's not his fault if people are going to take advantage of that. So if anybody wants to give him a job, who is he to say no? I mean, if maybe, fans around baseball, don't like the Red Sox doing it, but if they like him as a manager and they're willing to do it, then, all for them. Yeah. Already got Josh in here trying to cause trouble. Listen, Josh, I told you I would teach you baseball, but you got to be a Yankees fan. So you can't say go Red Sox, bro. Come on.
I'd rather hear go Red Sox than the Yankees any day. But from what I've been observing, some of the sources that I have, and that is Twitter, is that it's down to Sam Fold and Alex Cora. But I do think that they're leaning towards Cora right now. I think he's just the guy that one has already been in there, like you said. So, yeah, I think he's done his time, like you said. And, Josh, you can say go Reds and leave it at that, leave off the Sox. And we're good with that, too.
No. Josh, we're going to get you on. Michael, I don't know how you feel, but Josh won't come on Backstop Banter because he thinks I'm going to make fun of him for not knowing baseball. But I figured we do I figured we do a baseball 101 stream with Josh and teach him the game.
Listen, Josh is so invested in the Reds already. His screen is even just red. So, I mean, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, I don't know what that is, Josh. Your profile picture never pops up on the stream, bro.
Josh, I'll send you a bobblehead if you want one. That's actually
Listen,
Johnny Bench. That one's staying
Hold
here.
on. I might have it. No, I'm not in my room, so I don't have it. My Jeter bobblehead with me. But listen, Josh, we're gonna get you onto this stream.
You gotta
Look
love
at
Adam
this.
Dunn's 80s.
But I think
knock him over.
I think it will end up being Alex Cora. And Michael, what are your thoughts on how I said the people around baseball just aren't happy about it because of he got suspended for this and blah blah blah. Because like I said, I look at it as, hey, he did what he had to do. The MLB punished him. Even if you weren't happy with the punishment, listen, you can't go back and change it now. Right. So how do you feel about them going forward with him?
Personally, I don't like it. I'll just be honest with you. Usually if there's the punishment and the time, it's usually with another team that hires them or takes them on. I think back of Adrian Peterson when he was suspended for the incident with his kid. Won't go into details on that, but I think he was playing for Vikings at the time. Sit out a year, and next thing you know, he's playing with, I think, Arizona. Like, he did his time, he took his punishment, but he's with a different team that accepted him. That's usually how it goes. I think of staying with football, Antonio Brown. Went crazy. Oakland got rid of him. He went to Patriots, give him his second chance. Then he went crazy again. But that's another story. So, I mean,
and now he's on the Bucks.
Right, and now he's on the Bucks now. So that's my only problem is usually if there's someone that did the time, they are done with that team. Like, why fire him just to bring him right back to the same team? I just feel like that's a problem. But I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not the management there or the front office. So if they're fine with it, they got to live with it. I'm sure there'll probably be some players hit with fastballs next year just because he's there. But it happens.
And that's honestly a good point, though, and something that I didn't really even think about. You saw it with the Astros this year. You're going to get thrown at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's gonna end up happening. And it maybe not as much in the Red Sox case because it's their manager, and with the players, they could legitimately get back at the players for not being suspended or doing whatever they did. They can hit them with that fastball. They can do anything. You can't really get back at a manager, I mean, unless, you cause a bench clearing brawl and then you go find out the manager and try to punch him. That's the only way you're really getting back at the manager. But I don't think anything is going to go that crazy. But it looks like Boston is going to go with Alex Cora, and it'll be interesting to see, what that leads to in the future for, all baseball teams playing the Red Sox. So, I kind of I am a little curious to see what the reaction is.
Oh, yeah.
But next up, something that's very near and dear to your heart, Michael. Mm-hmm. Very near and dear. Trevor Bauer. Like, if I was good with computers, I would want this little thing of Bauer cartoon walking around our screen, and it's like, where in the world is Trevor Bauer now? Please tell me who Carmen Sandiego was. No.
Oh, my goodness. It was the greatest show. It was this woman, and it was all like a mystery, and you had to try to solve where she was going. It was a show on TV, and you had to try to figure out the puzzles to figure out where she's going to be at next. Man, it was good. You need to look into it. That was like
sounds like Dora.
Pitch and everything. It was nothing like Dora. Absolutely nothing like Dora. Nothing like Dora. This was really good. So,
Michael,
anyways.
Listen, just admit it to the people. You enjoy. Listen, you don't watch Dora because your kids like it. You enjoy it.
I'm not going to deny that at all. I like it. I thought it was a pretty good show. Swiper, no swiping. So, yeah, I like Dora. Dora was pretty cute for her age.
Whoa.
Well, I'm sorry, that did sound really bad. That did sound really bad. Dora's been out for like 20 years now. Let's be honest. I'm 30.
USN does not acknowledge the things Michael is saying right now.
Lord, I apologize for that comment that sounded a little bit sketchy. Please forgive me. Just fire me and bring me back.
Look at Alex. Teardrops.
Thank you, Alex. Alex wasn't listening. He had that halfway topped out before I made my very odd statement.
Listen, just save yourself. Get back to Bauer.
Let's get back to Bauer. So the new update for him, please follow him on Twitter, guys. If you do not, you're missing some great content. Even follow him on YouTube. He has great media presence just to know what's going on with it. Here we go. There it is. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, so as you guys know, what's going on now is the qualifying options or the offers going around of the MLB right now. I have actually learned more about what this even is in the past 2 days myself. But what it is the teams have an option to offer this to them, and the way they come up with it, they take like the top 120 players, we're going to say, and average out their salary to come up with their cap on it. So this last year it was like $17.8 million was what the qualifying offer would be for their final year. This year, after the numbers and all that stuff, however they did X's to the O's, they come up with it to be like $18.9 million for their final year. Bauer didn't waste any time. You actually, once a player gets offered this from their team, they have 10 days to say yes or no. And what is also interesting, I hear myself talking. Do you have something going on there?
I have I have everything connected. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Golly. But they've got the 10 days, and what's nice about it is that these players, once that they know what they're going to be making, say I offered you the 18.9, you could actually go to other teams and say, hey, listen, if I go into the free agency and decline this, where do I stand with you? Would you be interested in signing me or making me an offer, and to kind of feel where they're going to be at for next year as far as offers from others about said schools from other teams. So that's kind of neat. But one thing I did learn, Bauer, he's straightforward with everything. He's not taking his 10 days. He went ahead the day they offered and already said he's not doing it. He's going to test the free agency, which is fair. And he's still not has saying that he's not out with signing back with Cincinnati Reds. Excuse me. But he wants to play the field. I mean, come on. He's probably going to be your Cy Young winner right now. So also, I thought this was interesting. We're just going to stay with the Bauer theme here. If Bauer turns it down and signs with, we'll say, the Yankees, because you're a Yankees fan and Yankees sign everyone when they can pay all the most money. If the Yankees sign him, whatever they offer him, they actually have to forfeit picks to Cincinnati. I don't know how the picks really work. I'm actually Trevor Bauer's agent. I can't remember her name, but she actually has something on Twitter. She's got a Court Up, I think is their podcast where they're talking about it. I actually messaged her, see if we could get her to come on sometime and just kind of collaborate with us a little bit on this and try to figure things out. Yes. So that's pretty interesting. I'd like to know how they figure out their picks, but just a few names, and I'm horrible at pronouncing these names because I'm in the hollers of Kentucky, and just going to say, and Connor, Connie, you can correct me on my names here. Kevin Gausman, is that right? Gausman, there we go. For the Giants, he was offered. He hasn't declined yet or accepted. And then our Yankee player, DJ
LeMahieu, baby.
Thank you, LeMahieu. Definitely not even going to try to pronounce that. And then one player that the Reds were really in battle to try to trade for last year is JT Realmuto. If I say that, Realmuto. Yes, he has been offered to and has not accepted yet. Nor has he declined, so that's where we stand. And then Marcus Stroman for the Mets. He actually set out all of this year because of COVID. He's been offered, and actually just now came out, I've seen on Twitter, that he is leaning to opt out of this contract. Now, I know you wanted to talk a little more about the Mets because you're dear to the state and you hate the Mets. Would you like to?
Yeah, no, we can for sure get into the Mets, but even just the Trevor Bauer and situation and everything like that, it's going to be interesting to see what players, I mean, obviously Bauer already opted out. And I think this free agency is going to be a little weird because of all the money that was lost, obviously with the COVID situation, no fans being allowed in the stadium. But, Bauer's going to get his money because, like you said, he's probably going to win the Cy Young this year. So he's not worried about it. LeMahieu is going to get his money, hopefully, from the Yankees. Please. Cashman, I'm begging you. Anyway, I don't know about Stroman, honestly. He sat out this whole year. He wasn't, too hot last year on the Mets. So it'll be interesting to see what his market is. And then Realmuto, he had a really good year as well. So,
man, you pronounce those names so well. Can you just say his name again?
Realmuto?
Realmuto. Man, you're so good. Listen, where I'm from, my dad, I know you probably don't know him. It's back in the early 2000s. We had a player for Cincinnati Reds. His name was Jimenez, and my dad always pronounced it Jimenez because the J is that. And I'm like, Jimenez, come on, Dad, it's Jimenez. So that's always been our joke every time we talk about it because that's just how we are around here. I mean, it happens. So even to this day, it's like, oh, is that Jimenez on third base? I'm like, Dad, come on, man. He's been gone for a long time. But like,
No.
yes, I think it's keep going.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like what the free agent market is, and I can't really blame any of them for opting out of their situations. I'm
Right.
very curious, like you said, and I've even seen it on Twitter. With Bauer, every time he goes somewhere, he's tweeting at the fans of that team, "Hey, how's the weather here? Should I go here?" Stuff like that. So he is definitely having fun with his situation. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see, what these opt-outs do and, who does accept a qualifying offer, who doesn't. Because I think, the upper tier players, like the players that we just named with Realmuto, LeMahieu, Bauer, I think that they're going to end up getting paid no matter what, what year it was. Even in this year with the crazy COVID situations, I still think that they're going to be okay. But it's more of the situations with the lower end players who, might have got that qualifying offer. And, I don't know every player that got the qualifying offer as well. But, and he's not a low end name, but I don't know how Stroman's market's going to be with him sitting out this year. That's a full year off. Like I said, the end of the year before with the Mets wasn't, the greatest thing that I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So it'll be really interesting to see that. But, like you said, to get into the Mets situation a little bit more, it's not only being from New York. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what their free agency looks like. Mm-hmm. For the simple fact, I know you lost power, last time during Backstop Banter.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Sorry, everyone.
I don't know how much you caught of my little Mets rant, but Steve Cohen's coming into the MLB unlike anybody else. Now, every team lost money. Every team lost, millions and millions of dollars. I don't know how much this year because of the COVID situation. But Cohen's coming in without losing any money. He never lost money. He hadn't owned a team during last year. So you can't sit there and say that he lost money. And now he's coming in with, I think his net worth is something like $16 billion.
Oh, my goodness.
So
$16.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I got 16 cents right now. But, he's coming into that situation, unfazed. So I'm kind of curious if this is going to be the complete opposite of the Wilpons of what we've seen in New York, a long time where the Wilpons, had the whole situation with, oh gosh, now I can't think of his name. The person that ripped him off. Oh, God.
I want to say Cashman for some reason, but that's not it.
It's killing me right. I don't know. I can't remember the name right now. This is going to annoy me. But whatever. They ended up somehow in a Ponzi scheme. I don't know how you can do that in if you're like a millionaire. But they ended up in that situation. So, they lost a lot of money when it came to that. Mm-hmm. And now Cohen's coming in. He's going to be ahead of everybody else because, like I said, he never lost any of the money. Yes. Thank you. Bernie Madoff. The whole Madoff situation. So that's why the Mets were never really aggressive in free agency is because Madoff with all of their money. Huh? Get it. But that was a whole big situation for the Mets. That's why they were never really available to go into free agency and do stuff because they were still, kind of paying stuff like that back. You have the expenses of owning a team. And now Cohen's going to come in. And I think that the Mets might be one of the most aggressive teams in free agency. But it's also interesting because even with the sale of the team, I believe he doesn't take over as the actual owner for like 10 days. And that's after free agency starts. So I'm kind of curious if teams are going to say, or not teams, players are going to say, I don't want to wait for the Mets ownership to change because this contract's sitting in front of me right now. And I don't know if I wait on this contract with how the market's going to be this year, if I'm going to get the same thing. So I wonder if, even if they wanted to be aggressive in free agency, that they won't be able to because he doesn't take over for 10 days. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, Michael, but I think the Mets, could be a very interesting watch in this offseason.
Oh, I think so too. Cause I mean, like we were just like you mentioned, and I'm sorry, I'm hesitant there, is every team is going to be struggling financially this year. And I say struggling very loose because let's be honest, they're billionaires. But they took a hit in their built wallets this year. So some of these players, I'm iffy as far as Stroman, like we were saying, is one, Mets, are you thinking I'm going to opt out because I'm still going to sign back with them and try to get more money? Because if I'm an owner, I'm not going to throw my top dollar at this guy who set out for over 18 months, probably by the time he plays, and think that I'm taking a big shot when that money could have went somewhere else. And sadly, that top money is probably not going to be what he deserves because he's a great pitcher, because that's what this year is going to be like. So, but we talk about Bauer, opt out, see what you can get, because everyone's going to pay every dollar they have just for you. But when you get down to the other lists, it's not happening. Like, one thing that I've seen too is there's been 10 players that didn't get option. And last year it was like 6, and they're saying that with the shortened season that they expect it to grow, and just teams aren't able to pick up that option. Michael Brantley was one that didn't get offered. Didi Gregorius, he played for the Reds, so I thought I knew that one. That's just a couple of the names. There's 2. Let's see here. I think, yes, there are 2 A's. I want to say Marcus and Liam Hendricks or Marcus Seaman there on that. Both of those did not get their option. So you kind of wonder if some of these players aren't getting their options because teams can't afford it.
I know. Listen, I know that, even the Yankees, who everybody always jokes around about having the most money to spend here and there, they declined Brett Gardner's option, and I think it only saved them like $2 million or something like that. But it's the little things like that teams are going to end up doing. And, looking at the Yankees again, because, it's just something that I know best, is Tommy Kahnle, who was a big piece in our bullpen before he went out this year with Tommy John surgery. And they didn't even extend the qualifying offer to him because I think that they're figuring you're probably going to be out most of this year anyway. So why are we going to pay you now when we could save that money, since, we already lost the money, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe, and hopefully, because, listen, Tommy Kahnle would have been very, very helpful in these last playoffs, that maybe they signed him throughout, eventually during the season. But it's the little opt-outs and things like that I feel like you're definitely going to see a lot more of, because it's going to be crazy. It really, really is.
I'm just sitting there thinking with you here. The roster, as far as the Mets, I don't know all their starting pitchers at the moment. I was trying to pull this up.
I mean, but, DeGrom, they have Syndergaard, who had Tommy John, so he didn't play this year. They have Steven Matz. And then after that, it was like, they had Rick Porcello that they tried to, get off the scrap heap from the Red Sox, see if they could, get that back. And then they had one more pitcher. Oh, they had one more that was Seth Lugo? Well known before. Oh, okay. Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo was pretty good this season, honestly. There was somebody else too.
Let's see here. They had David Peterson, Steven Matz, Corey Oswalt, and Ariel Gerardo. Gerardo, maybe.
Let's look at the.
But what I'm just thinking here, you got DeGrom. You could have Stroman back. Plus, you got Matz, who was good. If you could sign Bauer on that, because, like we're saying, they're the team that's actually not going to struggle so much. That's a good starting pitching group right there. And if they've got the money that they could go out and get some of these other guys, a couple players. And one thing we're going to get into in a little bit, I don't want to transform over to that just yet, but if they made a couple of trades where they could pay a little bit more to the player, they could be set. This Mets could be a big turnaround. This could have been the perfect storm for the Mets. Now, I'm not trying to put this on the Rolodex, Alex, back up. But if they could sign Bauer from this pitching free agency and get a couple good players on that lineup.
Get Stroman back, maybe.
And
like I said, we both don't know if he's going to, like you said, we don't know how he's going to play after taking all that time off. But if you get Stroman back, you add Bauer, you have DeGrom, you might mess around, and Syndergaard's coming back.
Right.
Syndergaard had Tommy John surgery, so
that's 4 or 5 aces right there. That's a pretty good little ace to have in your pocket. So yeah, you could get a little couple of these players in the field that maybe hit some homers. You're looking good. I'm not going to say World Series, but I definitely think
with a pitching staff like that, I wouldn't put it past them. Listen, with the pitching staff like that, you have to average like 4 runs a game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's awful in the MLB. That's terrible. A bad team averages like 5. But
Yeah.
I mean, whew.
So, who doesn't
don't do
want
it
to play
though,
in New
Mets,
York?
because this is still the Yankees town. So calm down there.
It might not be for long if this plays out. And just think, any other year that we didn't have this COVID and hurt these MLB franchisers, these teams, these owners, this wouldn't even probably be even a thought.
I don't
to
see.
anyone
It's
else.
weird because now I can disagree with you on that, only because of the sale to Cohen. If
Right.
this was any other year and it was still the Wilpons who, with the Bernie Madoff situation, they don't have any money, then I absolutely agree with you. There is no chance. I've seen it being in New York, just for how long I've been alive. It's whenever the Mets have a good player, there's like, all right, I'll give you an example. Bryce Harper and Manny Machado were free agents. Every big market, at
Right.
one point, you heard that they were going after them. The Yankees were going after them, blah, blah, blah. The Dodgers, this team, that team. Not one time, and I live in New York, did I ever hear the Mets were going
Right.
to do anything with them. And you're telling me now that Steve Cohen comes in, who has $16 billion in his pocket, that he doesn't say, yeah, you think I'm going to let Bryce Harper get away from me? You think I'm going to let
Right.
somebody like a Trevor Bauer get away from me? I think that, especially with how bad the teams are hurting, listen, take advantage of your money now. Why not? And all because, Cohen has the money, and, I've heard this a lot. You can't throw good money at bad, though.
Right.
You can just look at the Yankees, for example. They've had one of the highest payrolls in baseball for a long time.
Mhm.
They haven't won a World Series since 2009, and I don't really think it's because they've had bad signings and things like that. They just haven't won. But you look at even before that, Steinbrenner always had money. They didn't win the World Series every year. So you can have all the money you want, but if you don't have the right coaching, you don't have the right players, you don't have the right this, that, a lot of things can certainly change for sure. But I think, as weird as it sounds, the Mets are in a very, very good situation
They
going
really
into the
are.
next season.
Now, we need to talk about something real quick here. If you don't care, is it just me or is that beard looking a little darker right now? Is it
Me?
growing in? Mm-hmm. Are you getting some?
Listen.
Did Alex
I'm
finally
trying-
send you some oil?
No. I'm trying. Listen, this is what I do. I can't grow a beard, right?
Magic marker. That's what
I
it is.
only, No. I only grow like here, and it gets like really spotty, right? Like I get like the sideburn and like random hairs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But the goatee can usually fill in. So
Okay.
I'm kind of waiting for the stash to make a return.
It's got to
and I-
take at least 5 years.
Yeah, listen, it took all of high school to grow like that before, so we might be here in 2030 doing the show, and I still might not
Gotcha.
have it. But I'm trying to go with the goatee a little bit here. How do we feel, Michael, Mr.
I mean,
Beard Man?
It's looking good here. If you can tell, let's see here. I mean, I'm in patches too. You just kind of gotta bite the bullet and let it grow.
Yeah, see, but your patch is this big. My patch is like I have a hairs here, and then the next one's here.
Gotcha.
So,
I understand. Well, that's why I shave.
I'm great at growing a neck beard though.
Gotcha.
But I shaved that. So
okay.
yeah, it's a
There we
tough
go.
life out here sometimes.
I understand. You know what? We need us a beard company to sponsor us.
Yeah, listen, please, I'm begging that. Or listen, I've been trying to get this on Blitz
Manscaping.
Boys.
Let's go.
I've been trying to get it on Blitz Boys, but I'll get it on here too. I drink like 45 Arnold Palmers a week. Can somebody from Arnold Palmer please reach out to me? I'm begging you. I'm begging you.
Hashtag Arnold Palmer.
I'll drink Arnold
Come
Palmer
on.
on your stream every single day. It's no big deal. I'll go live every day just to drink it.
Not even say a word. Just click
Yeah,
live.
I'm opening it, drinking it, shutting the stream off.
That would be quite funny. But okay, so back to bantering. See here,
Yeah.
we did the Bauer, we did all that.
I know. Listen, I know what we got next. We got a very big story, which is Francisco Lindor. It has
Yes.
been said that Francisco Lindor, the Indians, are looking to trade him before the start of next season. Now, I don't want to compare it because I think Mookie is a better player, but this is kind of a Mookie Betts situation
Mhm.
in the fact you might not get a player this good available like this in a long time. Because, listen, Francisco Lindor, healthy on the field, is a premium shortstop. He might be – oh, where did Michael go? Oh, no. Michael, not again. What did you do? You know what? Whatever. I'll carry the show once again. But Francisco Lindor is one of the best shortstops in the MLB so far. We've seen it over his entire career. And you might not get a player like this available in a long time. So I think you got to try to trade for him, no matter what. I don't know what team he's going to go for. Of course, you always see, oh, here we go. Michael's back. He's back, people. Welcome back, Michael.
Hey.
Welcome to Backstop Banter.
Hey, thanks for having me on here, man. I'm so excited to be here on Backstop Banter.
Yeah, no,
Sorry about
it's like
that.
I just saw you. It's crazy.
Deja vu, it happens. This is why we call it live, because it's live, literally. All right. So, yes, we were saying about Francisco.
Yes, I was just saying, just to repeat it since you weren't here, that you might not have a player like this available in a long time, and I don't know what team he's going to go to, but I think if you're any team, you got to at least try for it, because you kind of saw it with the Yankees getting Stanton. Was that contract was so big for the Marlins, and they wanted to move off of him so easily that, listen, they traded Starlin Castro and some, prospects or something, or draft picks. No, I think it was Starlin Castro, somebody else, in cash considerations. And you got the NL MVP, and you got the NL MVP from the year before. Now, listen, a lot of people said that's kind of overkill. The Yankees didn't really need him. They have a player like that in Aaron Judge. But hey, I'm not going to blame them ever. If you can get a player like Giancarlo Stanton for a bag of peanuts, I would do it 10 times out of 10. And this is kind of what you're going to be able to do with Francisco Lindor. The Indians are weirdly a smaller market team, being from the area that they're in. It's definitely not, the number one thing down there. So they are kind of a smaller market team, and they want to get their payroll down. Lindor's contract is up. I know that he's going to, probably want a lot of money, and they're just not going to be able to pay it, especially with this COVID situation going on. So I think if you have the situation where you can trade for him, you kind of got to do it. Of course, like every other player, like I always said, I saw something about the Yankees being in on him.
Yankees.
So
Yankees.
if that happens,
Yankees.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Yankees.
Listen, you're just mad because the Reds can't afford him.
Yankees. No, I mean it's like that every year. I understand it now. So I'm actually surprised that we still have Joey Votto, but we booked him for a 15-year deal. But I like what we were talking about, and this is what I was trying to avoid getting into 10 minutes ago on my first stream before I came back, is what if the Mets, in the perfect situation here, has the money where they can say, you know what, Lindor, come on over. Francisco, make yourself at home. Because obviously he's got the cash that he can trade them. Being a small market team like they are, they can use the cash, trade them a couple of prospects. I mean, who cares who else you trade? You've got 5 good pitchers we were just talking about. They could be interested in one of them just to give them a pitcher back to match up with Bieber there. So, I mean, yeah, that would be nice.
I'm kind of curious in this situation. Obviously, DeGrom is untouchable.
Right.
He's coming off of 2 straight Cy Youngs, I believe. Yes, because this would have been his 3rd year in a row, but I think Bauer's going to win it. We'll get into that as well.
Bauer.
So you have a 2-time Cy Young winner, possibly coming off of a 3rd. So he's untouchable.
Right.
If you sign Bauer, you have him. If you sign Stroman, you have him. Noah Syndergaard was a very, very good pitcher before Tommy John. And this isn't back in the day where, people thought Tommy John was kind of an ending thing. Right. People come back from Tommy John now and throwing, 2-3 miles per hour faster than they were before, because they can just kind of go all out now. Yeah. So if you can say, listen, why don't you take Noah Syndergaard, we'll throw in somebody else, and we'll give you a boatload of cash. You think that the Indians would say no?
I mean, it's definitely going to be tempting no matter what it is. I mean, because I think the Mets at this point, they're saying, listen, we're going to throw all of our eggs in one basket and roll with it. I mean, what if you offered, if Stroman actually decided to pick up, if he does pick up this option, he can't be traded. That was one of the calls I did pay attention to. So if he opts out, but yet you still sign him, which is obviously, like we said earlier, with Bauer going back to the Reds possibly. If they were to do that with Stroman, since he's been out for probably 18 months, why not say, hey, listen, this is what he used to be. He's still got it. He's going to be rested, and just try to pitch the crap out of that to get him to go. Because honestly, someone been out that long, I don't want him on my team to 1 year, because it's going to be guessing. But if you salt it up and pepper it and season it very well, it can look very tasty. So, I mean, that could be an option. Could you imagine?
It would definitely be, like I said, I think, but this is the thing too with this with Lindor's situation, I think this is kind of completely different from the Stanton situation, where Stanton's contract was so big, it was kind of, listen, he either has to go to the Dodgers, Yankees, or Red Sox. Like, nobody else can really afford a contract like that. This one is, I know that, we had COVID, but I feel like every team can kind of trade for him, because I might be wrong in saying that his contract is up right now. Like, it obviously isn't, because then he would be a free agent. He wouldn't be able to be traded. So he must have, a year, maybe 2 left on his contract. So this is kind of
1 year. And like that last year, it picks up so much. That's why they can't do it.
Yeah. So if you, this is kind of in any team situation. If you want to say, hey, look, we got Francisco Lindor for this 1 year, and you might be able to get some other players on the cheap because the free agency market might not be as good. You could this is kind of different where like I said with Stanton, you kind of knew what team he was going to go to. If I'm the Indians, I'm sitting back and dipping my toe in the water with any team that wants to trade for him. And, you can really go back and forth. You can really play your leverage in this situation and say, oh, yeah, well, they offered me this. Oh, yeah, well, they offered me this and that and this. And you can really go back and forth with the situation. So Francisco Lindor, like I said, is a very, very good player. He's probably the best shortstop in the league at the moment for my money. I would take him on my team any day of the week. So if I'm the Indians, I'm sitting back and saying, listen, you better offer me something better because this team just threw this guy in too.
Yeah. Somehow there's going to be someone who leaks all the options out. Oh, this breaking news leaked from the Dodgers. They offered this. Let's see here. We're the Yankees. We want to move that up just a tad bit, see what we can get on that. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. This offseason. Winter, I actually enjoy the winter times as far as these meetings come out from that. I actually enjoy it probably better than I do the season because you hear all these temptations, what's going on. See, the past, at least last year, I want to say year before that, the Reds were actually interested in Lindor then, or Lindor, and just could not. So,
listen, like I said, I think if you are legitimately any team, you should go after Lindor. I know the Cubs have a shortstop. I can't think of his name. Oh God, Garrett, you're gonna have to help me here. You would know this. Now I can't think of his name, and I know he's good too, so I should really know this. I'm a fraud. I think
it's Ariza.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna kill me.
Is it? I don't think it's Javier.
Yes, it is Javier Baez.
Okay.
So I know they have Javier Baez. I don't care. Find a spot for him. Honestly, like I really think that's what it is. I don't know if you can move. Yeah, you know what? That's not true. Baez's nickname is the Magician, so I can't argue with you there. He's an absolutely unbelievable defender. Like I said, I don't care. Find a spot for him. I don't care what you got to do. I don't know if you want to move Lindor second, third. Hell, I'll put him in the outfield if I can get him on my team. I think that he's just that good of a player that if you're any team, you should really try to trade for him.
I do recall a really good shortstop, I think, that played for Seattle a few years and then switched over to, I think, the Yankees and started playing third base.
Yeah, I can't remember what that guy's name was.
He's probably nothing.
Yeah.
J-Lo, maybe? No, not J-Lo. Oh,
A-Lo?
Yeah. A-Lo. Ooh, that was a bit low. But, so, I mean, there's options. These athletes, and I'm sure it is hard to switch a different spot, but, they're paid well compensated to try to learn if they want to play. So, yeah, I mean, I think all teams are open. I mean, even the Marlins at this point are open. They had a decent team. I mean, they've got the young guys that they could actually make a move. I could even see Oakland with some of their young pitchers, and they've got some prospects coming up. I mean, anybody – that's why I love it so much. Everybody is a contender to make a trade for someone to try to improve.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a very interesting situation to look out for in the least. Now, next up, I wanted to go over because the Silver Sluggers were announced. They had – let me tell you something. MLB – actually, no, I'm wrong in this situation, but I'm still going to say it. The Gold Gloves for the MLB were announced on the first day of the election. Like, listen, MLB.
They counted.
I know that you probably kind of had like a contract or something, but you're out of your mind if you thought anybody was going to watch an award show when the election was on. But whatever. That's just my marketing strategies for you. Who am I, though? But let's go down the Silver Slugger list. And, Michael, I'll say this. I'll name the players, and I'll see if you have any, gripes with anybody named.
Okay.
For the National League, we'll start with that first. Catcher is Travis d'Arnaud of the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
First base, we got Freddie Freeman.
I mean, hands down, yes, he belongs there.
Second base, we got Donovan Solano of the Giants. Shortstop, we got Fernando Tatis.
I mean, slugger.
Third base, we got Manny Machado.
If we're just going slugging, yes, I felt like his average was a little low, but still, I can't complain about it.
For the outfield, we got Mookie Betts.
Yes.
Juan Soto.
I was actually like that. I wasn't at first when I seen the name, but I looked back at some of the stats, and it was he had a good season. So yeah, yeah, he had a real good season.
Juan Soto is one of these up and coming players that I'm very, very excited to watch for the future. And I know we've talked about how bad MLB's marketing is, but please MLB market him, Tatis, the players like that, because they are definitely going to be the future of baseball. But anyway. Back to the Silver Sluggers. Last outfielder is Ronald Acuna Jr.
Who do you have a problem with, or do you have a problem with?
And I forgot there was a designated hitter in the National League so far, and that was Marcell Ozuna.
Now, I actually, and it's my bias coming out right here, I'd like to have seen Jesse Winker as that DH because he definitely put the Cincinnati Reds into the playoffs on his back, I personally think. The dude actually I think he was out for COVID for a while, so he missed probably a 10-game section there and came out and just finally was phenomenal. I think he had 12 home runs when he missed like the first 10 to 15 games.
He hit 255, 12 home runs, 23 RBIs. So,
and
it's definitely
really, if you could look at how he started the season, how he finished, he was on fire at the end. He was actually batting 100 for like the first 20 games, it seemed like. And then all of a sudden he just caught fire, really took off. But that's my Cincinnati Reds, as you all call this younger generation. That's me being a homer, whatever that means. So, I understand, but I would have liked to have seen him there.
The only one I might have a gripe with, let me look. Maybe I'm wrong. Nah, all right, yeah, I am wrong. I was going to say JT Realmuto for the catcher instead of d'Arnaud, but damn, d'Arnaud, you know what the funny thing is too? d'Arnaud played so well, and the Mets catching is awful. And where did d'Arnaud come from?
Yeah.
The Mets. And you know what the best part about that is? I don't even believe they traded him. I think they could.
Probably so. I mean, that sounds like the Reds for you there too, but it seemed
now
like
let's
for a
move
while.
on to the American League. Catcher, we got Salvador Perez. First base is Jose Abreu.
Mm-hmm.
Second base, my boy DJ LeMahieu.
Mm-hmm.
Move over to shortstop, we got Tim Anderson. Third base is Jose Ramirez. Outfield, we got Mike Trout. Teoscar Hernandez of the Blue Jays. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Eloy Jimenez of the White Sox, and then Nelson Cruz as the designated hitter. Now, I don't even say interesting as a bad way of Teoscar Hernandez because, being a Yankee fan, I saw a lot of him when they played the Blue Jays. He's actually really, really good. So, I think in general, I think they did a very good job with this Silver Slugger list. I really don't have anything to really argue about like I thought I would, because when lists like this come out, you usually can find one or two things that you're kind of a little iffy about, but
right,
they were pretty solid.
If Bryce Harper would have been on this list, like
he
always is, it's just because who he is. That's like who the MLB wants to market no matter what. So, and all he does is go drives the women crazy.
Listen, I got magnificent hair like that too, so I feel your pain. I feel your Bryce Harper.
Not until you start conditioning can we have this talk. Just saying.
Who needs conditioner when you got shampoo?
Everyone.
I don't even know what conditioner does.
Listen, use conditioner one time. I don't care. In one time, you'll be like, okay, I got you. Go
All
into
right,
your
I
mom's
guess.
bathroom, get a bottle out, take it in there just one time. Say, okay, I've already got my shampoo on. Put it on there, rub it in real good. Let it set for about a minute in your hair while you sing, whatever you want to. Take me out to the ball game. And then wash that sucker out, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, that is nice." Telling you.
Oh, I
Tell me you'll
guess.
do
No,
it.
I guess,
Tell me
I
you'll
guess
do it.
I'll think about it.
No, well, be like Nike and just do it.
Oh, look at you with the promotion. Hey, Nike, you want to sponsor us too?
Please, that would be amazing.
Next on. Oh, gosh. You lagged a little bit there, Michael, but we're okay. We're okay.
Oh, okay. I was like,
You're still here. Don't worry. I saw the
I'm
panic.
still
look.
here.
Next up,
Yeah.
we'll move on over to the MVP and Cy Young race, which is, will be a kind of an interesting thing. For the National League MVP, our three finalists are Mookie Betts of the Dodgers, Freddie Freeman of the Braves, and Manny Machado of the Padres. I think that this is pretty easily Freddie Freeman's. I know going into this, towards the end of the season, I said I kind of wanted Tatis to win just for the story. But after looking at Freeman's numbers, there's really
hands down.
not too much of a case. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no arguing that.
So I think Freddie Freeman for both of us is our hands down most valuable player. Now, this one could get a little interesting. The American League MVP is between Jose Abreu, DJ LeMahieu, and Jose Ramirez. I don't know how you feel. I think my boy DJ LeMahieu has to win this.
Either him or Jose
Which one?
Ramirez. I like you, but I do. I think you boys got it. LeMahieu.
LeMahieu.
LeMahieu. I said
There
who, Hugh. I'm sorry, Hugh.
I think. Hey, listen. I think he has to win. He batted, I believe, 366. Had double-digit home runs. He's literally the MVP of the Yankees. So even if they don't want to give him the actual one, I'll handcraft a trophy and send it to you.
I just want to take this time to say our very first backstop banner that we ever did, beginning of the season, I said someone would bat over 350 this year. I said it would be Joey Votto, but I did say someone would bat over 350 this year. Just saying.
Wow. Look at you. What a smart guy.
But I did say it would have been Votto. I was wrong. Alex, back me up. Look on your Rolodex on that to find that.
This, you know that this is the first time since 2017 Mike Trout won't be first or second in MVP voting?
Really? I did see an article that was written that was saying, is Mike Trout slipping as far as being the most valuable player? I'm like, come on, man. You're reaching now. You're just trying
I'll
to find
take
an article
Mike
to write.
Trout over anybody in the MLB anytime you want.
The dude had a baby this year. Like, he missed some games because of that. So
I literally don't care. Listen, you want to give me Angels, you're going nowhere anyway. Trade the Yankees Mike Trout. I'll take him right now.
No,
Oh,
don't do
yeah.
that. Trout, just
Oh,
go
yeah.
somewhere else, man.
Next up, we got the Cy Young Award. I think this is going to be pretty easy as well for the National League.
Bauer.
Trevor Bauer, Yu Darvish, or Jacob deGrom. Now, originally, I thought deGrom was going to go for his third in a row.
Don't
But
you?
it is going to Trevor Bauer, I believe.
I mean, if it doesn't, it would be some great content for Bauer Show. The momentum. That would be nice to watch. I ain't going to lie.
Could you imagine what he would say about the MLB writers in the MLB if he doesn't win it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It would be great. So I'm looking at her. This is a side note. I'm looking at her USN text. I guess they're about to try to go live. Too bad we're on the stream.
Nah, they'll survive. They're going live
That's
at
right.
8:50 Eastern or Pacific.
Oh, okay.
So listen, Michael,
We're
I'll
good.
fight all of
We're
them.
good. That's right. We're more important.
Exactly. We're putting Unwrapped on our backs.
That
Next
is right.
up, we got the American League Cy Young. I think this one's pretty easy as well. Shane Bieber, Kenta Maeda, and Hyunjin Ryu. There we go.
I'm
Listen.
definitely not going to correct you. Don't worry about that.
I know, but I hate getting names wrong. I think this is Bieber's pretty easily as well. He had
Yes.
an amazing season, so I think that's pretty easy for him as well. I don't know about
I
you.
would concur. I agree.
All right, now for our final segment before our rant of the week, which will be done by you this week, may I say.
I'm going to try
We're
to keep
gonna
it easy.
we're gonna vote for our 2020 MLB All Team. Michael, I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, no. My people went away.
Oh, Michael,
I had them. Oh, I have to wing it, but we'll get through it here.
you want me to go first?
Well, I can do first baseman because if I think he's the MVP, he obviously is going to be my first baseman, Freddie Freeman, batting 341, 13 home runs, 53 RBIs, 2 stolen bases from the old man, and 1.102 OPS. So that's my first baseman.
If only Luke Voigt had a higher average, I would have given it to him with his 22 home runs, but I just can't do it.
I mean, I agree. The 22 home runs is very nice, but even Freeman, I even took this into consideration since he didn't have as many home runs as Voigt, but he still had more RBIs. I thought that was impressive.
You know what? Well, let's go position by position, actually, because I want to see if we would disagree or agree on things.
Okay, so you're Freeman at that as well?
I am. Second base, who do you got?
Sadly enough, I've wrote his name down here and tried to make it where I can say it even more. LeMahieu.
LeMahieu.
Dang it, I did it again, the who. LeMahieu.
There we go.
All
I
right.
also have DJ. I don't think that that's too difficult.
I mean, he batted 364. He still had 10 home runs and 27 RBIs. I wish his RBIs were up a
And
little
he's
bit more.
also the leadoff batter, though.
Oh, well, that's even better then. That makes a little more sense. Wow. So, yeah. When a man bats 364 in a short season like that, that's pretty impressive.
Listen, it might have been a short season, but it was still 60-something games, so that's unbelievable. Next up, we have the shortstop position. Who do you have?
I have to look back through here to see if I can figure it out. Who do you have? I'll let you go first.
I have Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox. Now, it did get a little interesting for me because I almost had – I don't know. I might change it to Corey Seager because Corey Seager batted 307, 15 home runs, 41 RBIs, and a stolen base, had a 943 OPS. But Anderson batted 322, had 10 home runs, 21 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. I know that the numbers don't really match up too well, but for a while, Tim Anderson was in the DJ LeMahieu range of, batting in the it was coming down to like the last week. I guess Anderson must have fallen off a little bit, but he was batting, up in the 350s for a while.
I had Corey Seager as well. Well, not as well. That's who I did have on that. 41 RBIs. I think that just makes up for the little bit of average batting difference there. So that's who I had.
I won't disagree with you. I really won't. But
you can't.
I think I can because I have Tim Anderson. But I'm still gonna let you live.
Okay. Sounds good.
Next up,
Third base.
Third base. I had Manny Machado.
I have Manny Machado as well.
Look at us. Two peas in the pod.
I do feel like that is a little bit of a bias just because of the name and the recognition on that.
Not even, though, because you look at his numbers. He was just – he had one less home run than Jose Ramirez, but he had one more RBI, had the second highest batting average of the people available.
Right, but Ramirez did have 10 stolen bases. Now, it's not to be, I guess, considered much heavy weighted on that, but I do think Ramirez had a great season, and I could see easily people voting for him on that.
I could also see it as well. Catcher, I think this was pretty easy, but who do you
have?
I have Salvador Perez.
That's who I have as well. It does. Well, of course, it's kind of makes sense if they're the MVP. All right. Moving on, since we do have the designated hitter.
Wow, I messed this one up.
Uh-oh.
I had Nelson Cruz, but I'm looking at Marcell Ozuna's numbers right now.
Yes.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't either. It's definitely Marcell.
338, 18 home runs, 56 RBIs, 1,067 OPS. Woo.
Yes, sir.
That man had a season.
Why
is he not in the MVP conversation? Damn.
You got me on that, but I was so happy to see Winker on this list. At least he finished with 12 home runs, 23 RBIs, a stolen base, and .932 OPS, but his batting average was 255. That's the thing I think hurt him so much. And again, with the 12 home runs, and we look up here at Marcell, who had 18, and Jesse Winker had COVID, I think, was out for at least the 10 days on that. So that just kind of shows a little more of what he did do on that. Now, nobody on the Cincinnati Reds batted over like 275. So for the Reds, 255 was pretty good.
Next up, we move over to the outfield. I have what was that? What were you going to say?
I was going to say, and in the outfield, we got to make 3 picks on this. So, I mean,
yes, we did.
Mookie Betts,
Yep.
of course, is one. I really loved Juan Soto.
I had him as well.
Man, we're supposed to be bantering here.
All right, listen, we're all right.
Now, this one I know is the name recognition because I think who he is amazing, but I did went ahead and pick Mike Trout on this.
So did I.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, you have to. We're picking best players here, and at least we're both. This is, you know what this proves? We're both geniuses. Because if we had If we had anybody else, I would be a little concerned.
I do agree. Now, next
we might differ here.
Just a tad bit. I doubt if we differ too much. I mean,
yeah.
As far as the pitching, the starting pitchers, we get 5 picks. So I think that's where we're going to be different, just to maybe 1 or 2 picks. But Trevor Bauer, hands down, the best player ever for this year. And then next year, when he doesn't play for the Reds, I will hate him. And then also Shane Bieber. And I had Corbin Burns with Milwaukee. And then I had DeGrom.
Wait, is that 4 or 5?
That is 4. My other guy is Darvish. I'm sorry. Missed him on the other side. It's in 2 columns there.
I am the same as you, except with Corbin, I put my man Garrett Cole.
That's a homer.
Listen,
whatever
had
that
the
even
better
means.
record. Only his ERA was only a little bit higher. Had more strikeouts, a better whip. I don't know.
Well, see, I like to take a little bit of consideration that the Milwaukee Brewers barely made the playoffs, so the record was a lot worse. They actually had to go against
after all the
Trevor
injuries,
Bauer.
the Yankees damn near barely made it as well.
But if you look at it, Milwaukee had to play both aces on my picks here. Darvish with the Cubs and Bauer with the Reds, so it gave him a little bit of a disadvantage of trying to get the win games up. So I'm just trying to grasp at straws right there. I'm right. You're wrong. Let's go.
Listen, let's be real here. I'm never wrong. But we'll move over to relief pitchers. I had Nick Anderson of the Rays and Brad Hand of the Indians.
I had Brad Hand as well. And then let's see here. I think I had Jake Diekman of Oakland. He had 0 saves, but his ERA was .42, .94 whip, and 13.1 Ks per 9 innings. You kind of got to go
you're wrong. This is where you're wrong because it's Nick Anderson because he had 6 saves, a .55 ERA, a .49 whip, and 14.3 Ks per 9 innings.
Yeah, you're probably right, but we're going to differ here. I mean, at least I'm man enough to say that you're probably right, but
just fully commit and say I'm right. It's okay.
It's Jake from Oakland.
From State Farm?
From Oakland.
State Farm.
But that's what I was going with. Thank you for catching that.
Of course. Now that wraps up. What was that? What was that?
I was going to say, so that is our MVPs.
That's our all 2020 MLB team. I think that we did an excellent job. I mean, granted, I picked the better relievers, but it's fine. I'll let you live.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, at least I made it this far without I guess I did actually bail on you for a second there.
Well, listen, before you bail on me again, I'm going to let you go into your rant because like I said, we're going to try to do this at the end of each episode. We're going to pick a different thing to rant about. I did it last week. I did it on the New York mayor trying to block the sale to Cohen. It obviously didn't happen because Cohen is now the owner, but go ahead, Michael. I give you the floor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is just a small rant, but I will try to be as quick with it as possible. But recent news has said that the MLB is considering going back with the NL to a no designated hitter. Please don't do that. That would be the worst decision ever. This year has been the most fun year in baseball that we've had in probably at least a decade. We love the bat flips. We love the attitude when a home run is hit. Let us have designated hitters. We don't want to watch pitchers bunting the ball or swinging at the bat or with the bat at the ball. It's pointless unless you're Michael Lorenzo for Cincinnati Reds, who can hit home runs and pitch as a reliever. But please don't make this stupid decision. Leave the DL or DH in for the NL. Everyone enjoyed it. There was nothing bad that went along with it. We got to see everyday players move into a DH and stay better fresh, play with a little bit of injury, and still play through it. Please let us have the DH. Don't be dummies. This is the perfect time to have this change. We've always talked about this in the past. Should we do it? We even had the votes, but one time, I don't know if you know this, I want to say it was in the 70s, one of the managers was on a fishing trip and told, I think it was with the Oakland, was the manager or the owner, was on a fishing trip and said, vote however San Francisco voted. And so that's how they got their vote. San Francisco didn't know how to vote, so his vote didn't count. Or we would have had DHs then. Look it up. It was on the MLB network. It was a pretty cool story. So don't be a fool. Let us have the DH. Ran over. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. I would clap louder, but it's 11:40 at night, so
that actually made me feel better. I appreciate that.
You know what? I think the rants are a wonderful thing.
I
just get it off your chest. But, I listen, I totally agree with you on that. The pitchers hitting, I mean, I paid attention to the American League more because I'm a Yankees fan, so I don't really have to deal with it unless it's interleague play. But even when just that small bit I have to watch, it is unbearable. Mm-hmm. You have pitchers swinging that. This is what I just don't understand, though. If
they look like Pee-wees.
Yes. If you want pitchers to hit, how they hit in college? No, they don't even hit in college. And then they also don't hit in the minors. So the last time a pitcher has tried to swing a bat was high school. What the hell are you doing? What do you think is going to happen?
I agree. I mean, when you have your pitchers going up to bat with a jacket on to stay warm, keep their arm fresh, just let someone else hit for them. It's more entertaining.
And then I got to worry about my $340 million pitcher, Garrett Cole, getting hurt because he was running to first base. Really?
Right.
Really? This is what I don't know. I don't even know if you remember it. I mean, you were obviously alive to remember it.
Easy.
No, listen. I'm just saying because you're not a Yankee fan. I don't know if you'll remember it.
Okay.
Ching-Ming Wong of the Yankees, very solid pitcher, was, I believe, coming home and twisted his ankle or something like that, had to have some type of surgery, was terrible. Terrible after it. I don't know what happened. He just couldn't pitch after the surgery, and all because he was running around the bases. I don't need my pitchers. Listen, they're not the best athletes on the field. They're not the best hitters on the team. I don't want to see it. Why would I? I agree. That's like having.
Hey, this is my rant.
I know. That's like having kickers play quarterback because they're bored.
Well, unless they play for the Cowboys, you might need it.
Well, listen, at this point, they need anything.
Mm-hmm. But in all real, I mean, you're paying them. I mean, it really bothers me. Pitchers get paid so much money to play every fifth day, so they're already at a bare minimum on what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, pitchers pitch, and what they're doing for that 9 innings or 7 innings or whatever the analytics say to take them out at is great. I'm not even about to bark at that. But if they need so much rest of that many days to be back to 100%, don't put a bat in their hands. Don't put them on base where they could trip over something and fall, because that is so many millions of dollars running around the baseline that hasn't done it in years. To me, other than my rant that I kind of went a little more dramatic, to me it's the dumbest thing ever because you're just flirting with disaster. That's just me.
That you are, Michael. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Backstop Banter. But Michael, I'm gonna bring it back up. I'm gonna bring it back up because you know what we have to do before.
I'm going to bring it up. Oh, you beat me to it. We've got to
pay the bills again.
Pay the bills.
Wow, look at you. Look at
Should
you.
be animated there.
But if you're into the betting world like I am, make sure you head over to mybookie.ag.
Ooh, let me do this
code
one.
USN.
Let me do this one.
Okay,
I got
okay.
this one. If you're into the betting world, unlike myself, and I will say this, I actually did an interview on Tuesday with Jordan Lovett from Kentucky here. He's a recruit that's actually signed with Kentucky and did this little promo code. And yes, I said if my mom found out that I was advertising this thinking I was betting, she would probably come to my house, even though she's like 60-some years old, would still knock on the door and say, do not bet, Michael. I was right. She sent me a message later, said, you better not be gambling. So if you're into the gambling world, unlike me, check out mybookie.ag. Use the promo code USN100, and they will match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,000. Now, of course, your bare minimum, it has to at least be $45. And if you watched the beginning of the show, you should have already made this account and put in some money on the Packers because that was an easy betting game. So next time, this Sunday, when you have a chance to bet against the Cowboys because we're not winning anything. We are trying to win first overall pick. So, again, my bookie.
You can't beat the Jets at that, though.
You watch us. Watch us. MyBookie.ag, promo code USN100. Now, over to you, Connie.
Now, after a long day at work or after you lose a little sore from punching the wall, make sure you go over to rxhemp.com and you use code rxhemp-USN to save 10% off of your order. They have the A1 CBD
Sauce?
creams.
Oh.
I mean, listen, I'm not a big A1 sauce guy.
What?
Yeah.
This is A1 banter right now. Dude, you smoking if you don't like A1 sauce.
Nah.
Like,
I don't
what
like
are you-
barbecue sauce.
I don't either, but A1 is steak sauce. It's not barbecue sauce.
Same thing, same difference.
No. Listen,
I'll have to come down, up, sideways to Kentucky, and you can show me things.
I mean, it's just A1 sauce, but okay, sure. I mean, just put it on the
you
steak.
guys gotta
Man.
have some good food there or something, right?
Listen,
you're known for Kentucky barbecue. Come on, Michael.
I'll be
I know
honest
your
with
own
you.
place better than you.
I actually just had some guys up. We were social distancing, had some wild boar chili and some grilled cheese sandwiches outside around the
All
fire.
right, see, this is where the accent gets you in trouble with me real quick because I
wild
really
boar.
thought you said wild boar jelly.
Oh,
instead of
chili.
And I got
Chili.
very concerned for a second, but then I actually used my ears.
I'm sorry. Wild boar chili in a bowl with some grilled cheese made in the oven.
Wow, fancy guys over here. But
Thank you.
that will wrap it up for this episode of Backstop Banter. I appreciate everybody. Oh wait, no, I lied. I lied to you. I lied to everybody. We have to do our promos. Michael, go first. What do you got to
thank you.
plug for the people?
Obviously, I'm streaming on my Twitter, Facebook right now. Also, a YouTube channel that I just linked to this. So by all means, please go over to YouTube and check it out. I think it's actually MD Lawson 00 there as well. It's actually been
You got to trademark that.
yeah, I mean, for real. So MD Lawson 00 is my Twitter, Instagram as well, YouTube. MD Lawson 00 USN is my sportscaster because everyone associated with the Unwrapped Sports Network has the USN at the end of their names. Please get on there and check out all of our content we have on there. We've got everything, MLB, NFL, fantasy, bets, even have MMA. I think it's,
Fights Unwrapped, yeah.
Fights Unwrapped. So check all that stuff out. Tuesdays, I've been trying to communicate with some recruits, some high school juniors, seniors, and just doing some interviews with them. I'm from Kentucky, and I absolutely love Kentucky. And I've been trying to focus on either Kentucky players where they are trying to commit to or players that are committing to the University of Kentucky. Go check out 2 of my streams on that the past 2 weeks. First, I did an interview with Jagger Burton, which was wonderful. He actually is a 4-star commit. Offensive line, plays tackle right now, maybe going to guard to play for Kentucky. He actually was going to commit to OSU, which is quite big that you pick Kentucky over Ohio State. In-state rivalry, actually got to talk to Jordan Lovett a little bit. They actually just played Jagger Burton a couple weeks ago, and he won. His team won, and he's a 3-star safety that actually leads Kentucky record with most interceptions as a junior last year, 15 interceptions. So go check that out. Hopefully them guys get me some connections, get some more, because it's a lot of fun. Connie actually was on there the first time with me. Burton has a wonderful head on his shoulder. He's definitely a very smart guy. Jordan was very charismatic, awesome guy to talk with as well. Pretty cool because Burton followed me on Twitter. Yeah, I'm getting kind of famous now. But that's all the stuff I've got. Let's hear about them Blitz boys.
Exactly.
That I've not been a guest on.
Listen, I'm trying, Michael. We got Caleb next week, but you're the week after.
Oh, okay. Deal.
Yeah, make sure you check out Blitz Boys on Monday, 7 Eastern. Me and my boy Josh Linares go live with that at 7 Eastern. Like I said, go back and forth, talk about everything, NFL, have some guests on from USN. And then the exciting thing that we interviewed Don LaGreca from ESPN of the Michael K Show fame. They have like the #1 radio show for the afternoon drive in New York here. So that was very, very interesting. I gave it to my friend so we could edit it and clean everything up. And I was going to post it today. Then I had to do some school stuff. So that will be going live tomorrow, though. So make sure you check out that podcast. And then also we had Alex on last week, or technically this week. That will be posted tomorrow as well. So make sure you want to look out for both of them. And then obviously just make sure you follow me on Twitter at Connie Chats. And then I have my personal Twitter, which is Anthony Conover as well.
Do we want to mention who we may have on this show soon?
Oh, yes. The Yankee beat reporter Brian Hotch, I believe is how you say his last name. I messaged him on Instagram, really not knowing if he would answer me. He did answer me, asking when we could do it. I literally told him whenever. So if we can get him on, I don't know if it'll be live. I don't know if it'll be recorded. But make sure you're on the lookout for that as well, because that'll be very, very fun.
There we go.
But other than that, I appreciate everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.